Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." I absolutely love that and hope I live by it. What we give can be understood as an action. How we give reveals the mechanism behind that action. So, if what we give is an action, how we give is what makes that action meaningful. Today, many people give from a distance. We write checks, we hope our dollars are used wisely, and we trust that the impact we imagine is the impact that actually happens. But donors are changing. People want transparency, immediacy, and a direct connection to the good they create. Imagine a world where every contribution is tied to real-world impact in real time, where donors don't just fund change, they witness it. Imagine if giving didn't end with the check. Imagine if we were connected directly to the execution of that gift itself, where nonprofits actually receive exactly what they need when they need it without waste, guesswork, or overhead. That world is coming, a system where giving is precise, transparent, and actionable, where every gift, large or small, creates visible, measurable outcomes, where generosity becomes a direct experience, not a distant transaction. This is the future of giving, connected, efficient, and undeniably impactful. Welcome to Small and Gutsy, the podcast spotlighting nonprofits and social enterprises. And in this podcast, social entrepreneurship. And I think you'll be really impressed with my two guests today. I'm really excited. With budgets under $10 million, that's for Small and Gutsy. I'm Dr. Laura Shirk-Witkoff, and I'm excited to be your host. We bring you the less told stories of organizations that are bold, passionate, and making real impact. Perhaps you will find needed services, a job, volunteer, invest in, or donate. Small and Gutsy is more than a podcast. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we've recently been ranked number 8 on FeedSpot's top 30 social impact podcasts and number 9 by Million Podcasts for our youth empowerment episodes. We're proud of these honors, but honestly prouder still of our mission to elevate the visibility of small but mighty change makers. Do you happen to know a nonprofit or social enterprise doing incredible work? If you do, please send them our way to laura@smallandgutsy.org. So, how do we give with instant impact? GiveLink is how. GiveLink is a donation platform created and run by a small team of young entrepreneurs backed by impact investors across the U.S. and Europe. Their goal is to make in-kind donations effortless by listing the essential needs of the nonprofit to simply receiving those essential supplies. It's turning the supply chain into an in-kind service benefiting nonprofits and their donors. There's no guessing as to what the nonprofit needs, and there's no overproduction in the chain because that which is requested is gifted. It's tax deductible and 100% goes to the nonprofit without fees or hidden costs. I just love that model. And I am so glad these guys, I think, found me actually before I could find them. There are 4 simple steps. Step 1, and I hope I get this right, but they'll correct me if I don't. Choose a cause, explore verified nonprofits, and pick the cause you care about most. Step 2, donate real products. Select essential items directly from each charity's wish list, ensuring your donation meets their actual needs. Step 3, get photo proof. Receive verified photo updates showing your donation being delivered to the nonprofit and the people it helps. And step 4, which is really important, and many of us forget this step, is measure your impact. See your personal impact in numbers, stories, and photos, all tracked transparently in your My Impact page, so you get your own page. I am so very excited to introduce 2 of those young entrepreneurs who co-founded GiveLink, and I may get their names wrong, so they'll correct me, Panos Kokmotos and Antonis Politis. Both are experienced Greek entrepreneurs, and actually, I found out that they were featured on Greece's Dragon Den, which is like our Shark Tank. I loved watching it. It was so cool. It was in Greek, but I looked at some of the translation. I thought it was really cool. They've successfully built a following and interest in GiveLink Greece, and they are here in the US to spread this concept of giving. So I am so excited to welcome Panos and Antonis to Small and Gutsy, the Small and Gutsy family, hoping they don't remain small, but they will remain gutsy. So welcome. Thank you for joining. And I'd love to share your passion on how this idea came about and what you hope for the future. But start like where the inception came, how you sort of, obviously you're both from Greece, but how you started in Greece and how it's caught on.
Thank you, Laura, for the beautiful introduction. I think it was one of the greatest introductions that have been ever made to us. I had goosebumps. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you did all the work. I just had to pull it together.
That was very good narrated. So, GiveLink. First of all, we're both on our early kind of 20s. I'm 23, Panos is 24, and the whole team is at that age span. The whole concept started when I first joined the university. I studied business administration at the Athens University of Economics and Business. And just a month in university, I realized that they're not teaching me how to start a business. They're teaching me mainly how to consult a business. And I didn't want that. Actually, I wanted to create something and change the world. So just 1 month in, I started searching for any kind of competitions or programs that were about entrepreneurship. Back then, entrepreneurship in my mind was just sales, millions, and I had a very disturbed idea about entrepreneurship back then. But the first competition that I submitted in was about social entrepreneurs, which I didn't understand at the time. And in fact, the first week of the program, I thought it was not very smart. Like, you cannot combine profit and impact. It's kind of contradictory to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It all changed when I came up with an idea. I remembered an article I had read about 2015, 2016 from a huge Greek nonprofit that was telling people during Christmas to stop giving items, to stop giving food. And I was like, Greece has not resolved poverty and the problems that we have as a society. How can you tell people to stop giving? I mean, there's definitely other organizations that need help. It's definitely a logistical issue, and there probably is a solution for it. So I thought, hey, how difficult would it be to have listed all of the nonprofits in Greece, have their actual needs listed so people know who needs what.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of actually going to the grocery store and buying things and leaving them to the nonprofit as most of the people do in Greece, you could just order it online using the e-grocery platforms and even get an image of the products when they arrive. And I found this pretty wise thing to do. I would do it. I felt like, this is good to solve a problem of mine. And I started asking nonprofits and people about this, and I realized that a lot of people think like this. A lot of people were disturbed by this idea. A lot of people also prefer to give in kind rather than money because they don't know how the money is being used.
Right.
And I said, okay, I have no idea how to start a business. I have no idea how to code, how to build a platform, how to do sales, but it sounds reasonable to me, the result. I have a good idea about how it could work, so why not? The competition went great. It was called HALT Prize. We didn't win the final prize, but we were one of the European finalists.
Fabulous, yeah.
Just with an idea. And I'm like, okay, it sounds reasonable to a lot of people. I should go on with this. I started the journey in 2022 with a different team. Then I had some difficulties with the team until in the summer of 2022, I randomly met at a cafe my two co-founders, two of the other three co-founders, Panos and Paris, who just overheard the conversation I had with a friend about like the vision and where we're going. They were surprised to hear people in our small hometown talking about entrepreneurship and change the world and doing something global.
Yeah.
They approached me. I immediately thought that these are great people and they would fit greatly in our model. And we became a team. Then we found our CTO, Alex, who is a very talented and smart person. And I immediately thought, okay, he should be the CTO of the company. And that's how the initial founding team started. We launched the platform, the first version of the platform, early in 2023. Had a lot of problems. We did so many things wrong. So we still do a lot of things wrong that we figured it out through the process. That's the startup life. Now we're at the point where we have over nearly $200,000 donated in products.
Amazing.
More than 100,000 products, actual items delivered to nonprofits. And we've measured that we have impacted over 100,000 lives of people in Greece and the US so far. It's been a very exciting journey. And yeah, we have, as you perfectly explained, our vision is to connect every dollar that is being donated to charity online to actual real world impact, so people know how their money is being used and they know who and how they impacted.
It's such an incredible concept. And again, not everything, like obviously some donations or grants need to be for infrastructure and for different kinds of services, but for concrete services that people need, this is so ideal in so many ways. So I just want to comment on a few things that you said. One is I love your entrepreneurial spirit, because even when you had setbacks, which every entrepreneur has, I've never met one who doesn't, you persevered, you got frustrated, you were wondering, but you knew deep inside that there was an interest there. You thought, I would like to give in this way. I'd like to see even my few dollars make a difference for somebody. That's the first thing that I think is just incredible. The second thing is that you said, and I didn't really connect these dots until just now, and it's so like you would think I would, it takes so much time to get supplies for anybody. And so you're not just saving the nonprofit or the donor too from that extra step. Time is money. It comes automatically to their doorstep. And the companies that are willing to either, work through you is where you end up supporting your platform. So the nonprofit never has a cost. The donor never has a cost outside of what they're donating. And the stores that are supplying these are benefiting because they otherwise may not have had that particular organization as a customer. So look at all of the areas you're impacting with one platform and 4 easy steps. Go ahead, Panos, you're up. Before you respond, what inspired you to join? Because you weren't part of the first team, you somehow met. Were you in that cafe at that time? Did you overhear? That's why we should really eavesdrop in cafes. That's a good reason. Panos, how did you get involved?
Yeah, that's a great question. So personally, I was very involved into startups, entrepreneurship, and the ecosystem from a young age, from 19 years old. So I had started some of my own startups in the past. I got involved in projects, was in the entrepreneurial community. That day, while I was working, in summer, it was July, mid-July, no one was working there. Only me, Antonis, and Faris was in the cafe. I overshared them, and it stood out to me how much passion and vision they had for a better future of philanthropy. Even on that days, in the very early stage, with just an idea and nothing else, I saw 2 people in my age in the university talking with something that can have so much impact. And I was impressed in that period, people talking about that. So I immediately reached out to them and asked them who they are and what they are doing. This is not Silicon Valley. It was Patras. So no one is working on these things.
That is such an important point. It is not like there weren't tech people everywhere you looked. You were in a small village really wondering, can we make this happen? And it was just an idea, and you had started and it kind of fumbled. And so now you were kind of restarting. So go on. I just love this. It's going to make me want to hang out in cafes. I'm going. That's where I'm going. Okay. Keep going.
So I reached out to them and we exchanged contacts. And I didn't have an idea of actually joining this startup at that moment. But a few days later, Antonis called me and asked me to go for a coffee. Not at the same cafe.
Good. You wanted to see if you meet more people. I love it.
We're already a lot of people, so we can't have even more people overhearing and going to join.
Right, exactly. Okay, so you go to a different cafe going, okay, we got to keep our group small still. Go ahead. Love it.
Yeah, so a few days later, we met for a coffee and got to know each other more, tell more about what we're doing, and understand more about GiveLink. And Paris thought that I could fit their needs. I could fill the gaps that the team had based on my skills, past knowledge, and experience. And I could be a fit for the team. So they invited me to join. And I really liked the idea. I liked the impact that this could have to the world. And it aligned with my values as well of doing something that is entrepreneurial, that can develop my skills and become better in the process, but also leave an impact back in the world. Try to do something useful and meaningful. So I really like that. And a few days later, we started actually doing that and trying to make it big and global.
It's just an amazing story. And I also have to just say, I'm glad you said your ages in the beginning. So you're in your early 20s, and certainly could be your mother. And in my generation, people were a little bit too afraid. There were very few entrepreneurs. And I think your generation, and with technology, and certainly with COVID, it has forced so many people into a dynamic business environment. And for me, I would have never done a podcast had it not been for COVID, because I had just gotten my doctorate and I was doing messaging and I was doing in-person workshops and trainings and consulting and so on and so forth. So as much as COVID was horrific, there are some silver linings, and this is one of them. I mean, your generation, I think, already was sort of somewhat entrepreneurial, but they would have approached it in a very different way. So I'm in deep gratitude for young people like you who are thinking not only about making money for yourselves, which you have to support yourself, but more importantly, really thinking about repairing the world. How do we make the world better? And how can we still hone our skills and support ourselves, but contribute? Because there is enough out there. So walk me through the story. You started in Greece, and Greece, from what I read, did not have a hugely philanthropic culture in a more traditional way, I think, but correct me if I'm wrong. Share that with me.
As you placed it, Greece is the second worst giving culture in the world based on the World Giving Index in the past
Except
10
for
years.
you two. Except for you two.
Yeah, it's not
you five.
Yeah, it's not that people do not care.
Right.
It's mainly people do not trust. And especially when it comes to giving money, imagine that 10% of the population actually gives money to nonprofits, which places Greece from one of the lowest places.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a strong motive and a good pilot country for this. Because when you have so little educated people about giving and what tools that exist out there, when you have no trust and you have to earn the trust of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are things that really, it was tough growing in that market, but it made us tough as well. And it really pressed us to, how do we explain this to people that don't understand online giving as a concept? And how do we help them earn their trust back in giving and philanthropy? Because Greece has a huge history and a huge history of helping one another. And when times are tough, we come together. So we need to find ways to convince people that you don't have to wait for the times to come. You need to be proactive, and there are easy ways to help others in a transparent way as well.
I love the idea of building trust in your whole culture. And I would wonder, I mean, it's been successful in Greece, and you've been building more philanthropic approach this way, that people are more interested because of the transparency and because of the trust. And I'm wondering over time if this will actually shift the thinking about philanthropy in general as you build that culture of trust and giving, because you're so clear about how people can do it and do it in a way that ensures that their money goes to the actual nonprofit and the actual needs of the nonprofit.
I think one of the most impactful things that we see as insights in Greece is that the average person who donates through GiveLink gives 60% more during the year compared to what they did before.
Oh, I
and
love
I think
it.
that's one of the biggest achievements that we've done, because it shows that people, this trust motivates them to give more. And even in Greece, a country where people are not very financially comfortable, you get them donating more and helping more. I think that's a huge insight and achievement. And another thing that we realized through the process is that, as we explained, it started as a problem for nonprofits and to connect the dots and find help more efficiently. But I think it has evolved, especially now in the US, as a solution to a more core problem, that it's not on the charity side, it's on the donor side. There is a reason why giving is treated very seasonally everywhere. You know, we give in Christmas, Thanksgiving, we try to find reasons to give, and people and the country and the government create motives like tax deductions, national holidays for people to give. And this is not a regular thing. And we're trying to really figure out why does this exist? Why don't people feel they need to give more and more often? And we came across a very core problem. And that's our whole thesis and the thing we're trying to shift in the long run. We believe, with concrete proof now in data, that people don't give more regularly because they don't get anything back. It's one of the least few transactions in the world that you pay something and you don't get anything back, only a feeling. And this feeling, when you don't know if you actually end up and it's only based on hope, it's not enough to make a sentimental profit out of it. And that's become our core mission and the thing that we're trying to solve through our product. Help people make a sentimental profit, that they feel the reality of their help. Because when you donate money to nonprofit, most of the time, somebody actually has a shift in their life out there and you never learn about it.
Yeah.
And we're really trying to focus on that now.
It's that's
how we
great.
usually do that.
So when you have a wish list and a donor comes and fills some of it, they see that the product has gotten there. And then it sounds like from what you just shared, that there are stories that people are willing to share about how those needs actually helped foster some success in their life in some way. Do I have that right?
Yeah. Every nonprofit that we are partners with set up their product wish list. Any product that is useful for them at the real time and important for their operations. Donors can actually see that list and select the products they want to donate, or use SmartPick, which is like putting a monetary amount of donation and automatically converting to the products needed the most at the charity that are equal to the value of the money.
Of the amount.
And when he goes to the checkout, he can see exactly what story he's making with these products. For example, if I buy hygiene kits and cleaning kits for a nonprofit helping children in Oakland, I can exactly see how many people I change, how I'm going to change their lives, and what impact this will have. And this is tracked. It's tracked after the donation as well, when people see their impact, get photos, but also afterwards, understanding based on newsletters data and what they say, how they communicate and the change they did. It verifies on how these stories affected the beneficiaries of the charity. And this can be seen through the impact as well and everything. So it's very personalized, and donors actually know the change they make the world, giving this sentimental profit that Antonis mentioned before, which encourages giving and makes more retention of donations because donors actually feel that they are engaged with that and they're willing to give more in the end to support more causes.
Well, it also sounds like it creates a relationship between the donor and the nonprofit they've given to. And I guess that leads me into another quick question. Do you see any data that suggests that donors continue to support a single nonprofit or a nonprofit that they've created the relationship, or any data that sort of suggests any of that? I'm just curious.
So far, in the US, we don't have so many data to have a clear insight. But in Greece, we see that when people donate again and again, they prefer different causes.
Interesting.
It's not only tied to one cause, because if you have the power and you can empower different kind of people. So I'd say most of the people actually end up donating to different nonprofits and different causes and trying to connect with more and more people, not just one specific.
Oh, I love that, because it really spreads then their ability to give across a much broader range, which is really wonderful. So the stories that people share from the nonprofit, are they often personal stories, or is it just a whole mixture of stories, whether it's just the organization versus the recipients of the actual donation itself? So are the stories vary between whoever's comfortable to be online, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so what Panos already tapped into, and I like to understand, is he was referring to one of the biggest updates we're launching very soon. By the time the podcast is out, it's already going to be live.
Good. Okay.
Eventually, our vision is exactly what you described. People that actually receive the products, sharing stories, sharing videos of explaining how it helped their life. But we need some time to get there because systematically, it takes some time.
Yeah.
Now, how we do this is that we're using AI now, and this is what's being updated soon. So based on, we have a lot of data from nonprofits, descriptions about what they do, their websites, their blogs, images they share with us, videos they share only with the platform, explaining with the people that run the nonprofit, explaining how this will help them and sharing updates. We gather all of this data and we train our AI system based on this data So we're able to actually extract real stories based on, okay, if you donate, for example, a backpack to this nonprofit that we have all of this data for, this is the actual story that's going to be created. Knowing the nonprofits, knowing that they're all vetted and they do what they say they do, we usually also meet them in person, we're able to safely say exactly the story that's going to be created by it. And that's the first version of this storytelling feature that we're launching now. And it's the first step on connecting the dots and eventually reaching to the point that you described, actually having real stories from the people from the nonprofit, personalized to its donor, and we're heading towards that direction.
It's great. I mean, it's so interesting because personal stories always, I think, have a greater impact on the donor and on people in general. And so the closer you get to those stories, the more I think people will feel connected. I also think, too, is oftentimes the recipients who have been helped and then have changed their lives like to come back and talk about how it's impacted them in a positive way. And they may not need the nonprofit beyond that, but they encourage other people to support people who have been in a situation like they've been in, which is incredible. So you probably have more stories in Greece than you do in the US because you've only been here for a much shorter time and are really launching this, which is amazing. I love the data that you collect and some of the insights that you've shared so far. Any other aha moments that you didn't anticipate or didn't expect that sort of surprised you? And that obviously I'm thinking more in Greece at the moment, but they may be applied here in the US.
A big aha moment that happened to us was this summer. During August period, in our city, Patras, a big wildfire emerged, devastating a lot of people and the environment as well. Many trees were flooded, and the whole city was in emergency mode. So we immediately responded to that and added like 2 nonprofits who were actually supporting the work of firefighters and the victims and the animals who were affected, and immediately like put their needs to the platform. All the basic essential ones, from water to biscuits to actual foods that they need that are the most useful for them. And the response of the people was crazy. More than $30,000
Wow.
donated in one day, 40,000 products. All over Greece, there were influencers and people sharing our post and our platform for people to urgently give the most essential items. And we stopped anything else that we did and tried to be helpful and useful at that moment. In the supermarket, we went ourselves to help the people like gathering all the items and actually putting them on trucks and actually delivering to firefighters. We changed all operations. We did like the biggest order that the supermarket could ever see in one day, $30,000, $40,000 at that day. But we immediately sent to the victims, to the firefighters. We were there. We tracked all the concept, like with marketing videos, social media, to show the world what we're doing and the impact that had. And it was a great way that we saw like product market fit and people needing that in terms of urgent situations and emergencies happening, and how more useful this was, because this directly affected these people. It wasn't money like kept in a bank account for later on, but at that specific most useful occasion. And it was an aha moment of seeing how much can people react to these things when these tough times happen.
It's a fabulous story.
I would add that it was, I agree, it's the biggest aha and wow moment that we've experienced so far. Because we've dealt with wildfires before, and again, there was a huge reaction from people. But most of the time, it was kind of remotely. So we would set up the campaigns, we would communicate with the people on the phone. But this time was very personal. It was in our own city, we were affected. Some of our team had to flee their homes. We were closing the windows because smoke could come out. It could come in the house. I mean, it was a chaos. And for 3 days, we were like, didn't sleep. We were all day at the supermarket, collecting products, communicating the campaign, and friends and random people joining in to help us carry products and deliver them. We experienced the whole meaning of giving so much in person that I think was the biggest moment that let us think, hey, we're doing something very impactful here and this is what it means.
This is what it means. And now you can really speak from even deeper personal experience because you yourselves were impacted directly. and saw that your community really stepped up. Obviously, living in Southern California, we had horrible fires, the Pacific Palisades fire, and Malibu has had its share, and so on and so forth. And we certainly step up and deliver things. But what I love so much about your platform is you take the thought process out of, in other words, you're choosing all of these things to donate that go directly to the store. The store then pulls the product, and then someone comes and picks it up and delivers it to the nonprofit. So you really have bypassed that extra step for people who may not be able to leave their home for whatever reason, but still want to be able to give, and they can see the result of their giving. So many of us packed up our cars with whatever we had at home at that moment to go deliver to a local place that then would package it and sort it and so on and so forth. I participated in that as well. But what a difference that platform can make, and what you've created is really remarkable. And it sounds like it's catching on in the US as well.
Yeah, we're just very early yet, to like 2 months now, I think we've launched. We already have 10 nonprofits live with needs, the first few 100 donors actually making transactions and donations and seeing this experience. And yeah, it's been an exciting journey, because in Greece we started to reach the scale point in the start of life. And now we're all the way back to the start. There's a new market, different kind of needs. And we went from the worst to probably the best giving culture in the world. So we adapt everything, we change everything. It's been exciting. And hopefully in the next few weeks we figure out, especially now that we record this podcast, which we're close to the Christmas period, we hope many people find out about GiveLink and experience this completely new perspective on, as you said at the start, how giving happens.
And our podcast might come out post-Christmas, but as you also said, this should be giving all year round, not just at those certain points in time. And so what I really appreciate and love is that, a lot of people don't give because they can't give those big amounts. And what's great about this is we all go grocery shopping. So you can go to any of these, or any other kinds of stores. And so you can go on the list of the needs of these nonprofits and say, oh, I can buy, 10 rolls of paper towel, or I can buy toilet paper, or I can buy this. I can buy it for myself. I can buy it for this nonprofit. And so what would you say, and I don't know that you can say this, and probably more for Greece than the US at this point because it's still so new here, what are the most common needs that nonprofits have in terms of tangible products? What are typical, would you say?
Yeah, in terms of the United States, we see lots of toys, clothes, hygiene items, cleaning items, stuff for their offices sometimes that are useful for the day-to-day, printing, paper machines, stuff like this. Food is mostly covered, and it's interesting because there are food banks that actually do the work and they help, and there are companies who give their waste or a surplus to the non-profits. So it's mainly everything except food in a big quantities. And we can cover anything right now. Like any product that a non-profit needs, we can partner with suppliers to deliver to them. So there are some most important and most useful that are common, but there are also sometimes products that are not common for non-profits, but are very useful for them because it's for a specific campaign they do or a specific reason they want this. And we want to make that happen. We want every dollar donated to actually have this tangible impact that's most useful to the big non-profit.
Yeah. Do you have an example of a product that you wouldn't typically think of that a nonprofit would need?
Yeah, I think one of the most standout cases in the US is a nonprofit called BOSS, which helps people that are either victims of violence, just got out of homelessness, and helps them get their life back. People that were in jail and now trying to connect back to society. And they help them find a home. And then they closely monitor them to help them not fall back and actually grow from that point on. And in this case, most of the supplies asked for were home supplies, like pens, bed sheets, pillows, stuff that are a little bit expensive. And when you start a new home, you can hardly pay rent. Of course. So these stuff are extra. And I think that was something that really stood out. And we also did a campaign on that. And on bed sheets specifically, like pillows and bed sheets. It's a very meaningful thing that doesn't cross your mind. at a person just got out of homelessness and they found a new home. They are actually got a job and now can afford rent. But still, like these things are expensive, are small things that could change someone's life.
For
Having
sure.
a clean pillow under your
Right.
head is very important.
Well, and it's also sort of inspires someone to keep going because someone's behind you, someone's
Exactly.
supporting you. And so it really, when you begin to sort of have any moment of insecurity, you've got somebody who's sort of backing you up and really believes in you. And that's what your whole platform is about. We believe in these nonprofits that do this great work. We want to support them, and they're supporting people on the ground.
Exactly.
Remarkable.
In Greece, I would say it's mostly food. Some things that really don't cross the mind, it's not food. The most typical thing is like food, juice or biscuits or breakfast things or pasta, for example, which are very recurring. But I think the most thing that is typical nowadays and is not, you don't think about it, it's cleaning products. Like when you cook for so many people, you need to have cleaning supplies.
Or dishwashing liquid
Exactly.
or whatever to be able to, because again, you're supplying the nonprofit that then supplies people who are coming and needing nourishment. It's interesting that Greece probably doesn't have the concept of a food bank in the same way the US does. So in some ways, you're adapting to the culture in the US that has already established certain things, and you don't need to go that direction because there's no point to it. So you offer different things. So walk me through the process of both from the nonprofit side, you meet them, you tell them what you're doing, you vet them, you sign them up, and then they get on this platform with a list of needs that can change. I assume it rotates, or sometimes they might need the same thing every month or every 2 months. So walk me through that, and then the donor side.
So for nonprofits, it's an easy setup. They join a specific platform that is dedicated for them. They sign up and they complete their profile, usually putting some photos, some description of what they're doing, some basic information so that donations are tax deductible and the products are delivered to their address. And after that, they set up their wish list. They can select from a list of over 1,000 products that we currently have in lots of different categories and select specifically which products they want, in what quantities, if they want to be automatic, like every month updated or once, and what priority, how important it is for them. And after they select these things, they are ready to be shown to our platform. So it takes like literally 5 to 10 minutes. And then they can also add this widget in their website. It's simple copy paste where they can directly say to their donors the products that they need. It's like an improved Amazon wishlist experience, making it easier for their donors to give. And there are also other features for nonprofits, such as seeing their donors, their data, their names, when they donated, all this important information that they can integrate into their CRMs, into existing tools that they utilize for their donor outreach. They can also see specifically all information about deliveries, when they are going to be sent to them, all the important information that is useful for the receiving of the deliveries. And they can also communicate with donors. They can message them,
Oh, nice.
put them in newsletters, have extra communication with them in order to engage, re-engage, and retain to give more of the products that they need the most. So this is like the main process for nonprofits, and they just receive the products like once per month or twice per month. So we usually batch deliveries. We don't send every single item. It's more efficient for them to get them in big orders, twice per month preferably, so that donors have a quick experience as well. And just upload the photo when their products arrive in order to improve the transparency.
And it's better for the environment as well to send.
Yeah, of
bulk
course.
products,
And you don't need, right. We don't need all the boxes going one at a time. So it's great. And then for the donor side, how do you get on the platform, you create a My Impact page.
So the typical process is that as you described, you just see a list of nonprofits, you can filter them out based on the type of cause you want to support. Then you can read more, you see the charity page, you can see more about what they do, how they do it, and what it's needed right now. Then they either manually pick the products or just say, I want to donate $100, and then they automatically pick for them the best products based on that amount. And then it's done. Then you only receive stuff. You receive an image, you receive updates on the delivery, you receive messages personalized from the nonprofit, and the thing that we're really focusing now is the My Impact page, as you very accurately referenced, a page that accumulates all of your giving activity and tells you with accuracy how many real lives you've impacted out there, how many donations,
Wow.
how many supplies you've donated, what type of causes move you, where do you rank amongst other donors. And you can even earn badges. If you donate $50 to a nonprofit, you become a guardian angel for that nonprofit. If you give
Lovely.
free time,
Yeah.
if you become a dedicated donor, you get a
Mhm.
specific badge.
Nice.
We're really working on the gamification front.
Yeah.
Now, with the story feature that we talked about, the only thing donor has to do is just to select the type of causes that moves them, set the budget, and then we directly generate, based on the item, the description, all the data I described earlier that we have from nonprofits, we create the most fit story, items, and the actual story that would be created, and the donor just clicks the button and it's done, and it's sent.
That's great. So then they see based on their interest, you're actually personalizing or tailoring the specific donor to the nonprofit or to the cause based on their areas of interest, which is great. And the stories that are AI generated at some point will be possibly real life stories. I mean, they're based in reality. However, I know where you're taking this sounds like it will is the more data and the more people that join in. So currently, are you only in the Oakland area in California? And is your goal to be sort of across the nation in the US?
Yeah, in the United States, we started with a pilot in the Bay Area. So we covered nonprofits all around the Bay, not only in Oakland, in Berkeley, San Francisco, Palo Alto, everywhere.
Perfect.
It really helped us in order to find our first steps here, understand the market, improve the operations, finalize existing like the supplier partnership so that everything works smoothly and very well. We are actually ready to expand this to California. This will happen like very soon, covering
Great.
other major cities like Los Angeles, but also like villages or other smaller cities that don't get much funding from the government or other ways, and they want in-kind giving. And very soon expand to other states as well. There are some legal considerations so that donation of tax deduction for every state and so on we have to work out, but that's not very difficult. If everything else has been covered and it works very well in California, we can easily expand to other states fast and try to cover more of other nonprofit needs.
I love that. And I love that you're considering much smaller areas that probably have greater needs. I mean, the big cities do too, because there are more people, but at the same time, they have greater access to dollars and products comparatively to smaller villages or, rural areas. So I love that you'll be able to do that as well. I think it's so practical that you deliver, twice a month, and that it's probably also really good if someone signs up for something that a nonprofit needs on a regular basis that comes every few months, because that also satisfies not only a need, but then the nonprofit can put that off their list. They don't have to worry about it, which is really amazing.
Yeah, this correlates with the subscriptions as well. So if there are recurring needs that nonprofit wants for a time frame, donors can subscribe to that, give monthly the most important products that they want. So in a sense, that helps also nonprofits be sure that they will receive these donations and they can perform their operations without wondering if they'll get that or try to find other ways to cover these items.
Right. It reduces their stress in trying to figure that out as well. So on the store side, on the business side, do you contract with organizations, the suppliers in that pipeline or that chain that you talk about?
Yeah. So we partner with suppliers who deliver their products to the platform. Donors buy this and then they batch the orders and they deliver to the nonprofits whenever they want them the most. Currently, we have a partnership with Group Sales, which is a wholesale suppliers across the nation, helping nonprofits with toys, a lot of essentials that they want in wholesale prices. So that's a bit bigger ROI as well. We are currently in partnership with Dollar Days, which is an excellent fit in terms of suppliers. They are like 30 plus years in the space. They know nonprofit organizations. They deliver these products. But the usual process that nonprofits ask for these products, we want to put them as the main source, actually helping this in the best wholesale prices as well. Biggest ROI for donors and for nonprofits. We're actively speaking with them to integrate them soon. And we also have Amazon, which integrated the platform. So for retail kind of prices and smaller quantities of products they want to give, they can see like almost any product list from Amazon, directly buy these products, and they deliver this to nonprofits as well.
So that's great. So the nonprofit chooses the product, they have a wish list. Do they also choose the store it comes from, or that's something that's behind the sort of the operations side?
Currently, it's mostly behind the operation. We
Yeah,
make sure that we
good.
don't have, if we keep it simple for nonprofits, we don't have way too many options, but we also make sure that they are quality options as well.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's why the platform exists, for you to do all the heavy lifting
Yeah.
behind the scenes, so to speak, you know? It's really incredible. So it's just an amazing idea from the very inception to where you are now, and that you're only 2 months into the United States, and you're going to expand beyond that because you really did your test case in Greece. And it clearly, and it was, I think, probably a much harder sell in certain ways than the US, as you pointed out. So how fabulous that is as you move forward into this kind of new way of giving. It's a way of giving that is seamless from the donor perspective and from the nonprofit perspective. So I do encourage everybody to get on GiveLink and check it out. And you've got videos on there and you've got some great information. So I don't know if you know this or not, because I don't know if we had a chance to talk about it. But toward the end of my podcast, I always have a round of quick and gutsy questions. Now, for you all, it may be a little weird because they're so kind of, in some ways, the US driven, but let's try them out and see what you think about it, okay? So here's the first one. What is at the top of your wish list for GiveLink? But the answer can't be money or funding. So I know that you're a social entrepreneurship and you have partners. So take that out of the equation. What's at the top of your wish list?
Grow our donor base.
I'd say in the end, we want to impact as many people. So in a few years' time, and as this grows, if we can impact more than 1 million people in the next 3,
Wow.
4 years, getting the products they need, this could be very useful, meaningful, and valuable to the community. So that's top of my mind when I'm trying to build and improve what we're doing.
I love that. You guys are a great partnership. And I know there are 3 others, but you're like, one is on the donor side and one is on the recipient side.
He's on the
I love
marketing
it.
right now, so
It's great.
he faces
No.
day to day with the problem.
Yeah, but it's perfect. It's such a nice compliment for the two of you, right? So if you were to think of a song that describes GiveLink, what would that song be? And it could be a lyric if you don't have a song in mind.
Lean on Me by,
Oh, I love that.
yeah. I was hearing it recently and I'm like, that resonates so much.
It totally resonates. It's, and you know what? It takes a village. We all have to lean on each other in order to make the world a better place. And you guys are so young doing this. It's really inspiring. Okay, Panos, do you have a song or a lyric?
A few weeks ago, I created a song
You did?
with lyrics and song, and it's in English. It describes our journey, how we made it here, and our vision. So
You already have a theme song. I love it. Okay.
I created this song. So happy to share that in the future.
Do you want to sing a few
Don't
bars of
text,
it now?
It needs some improvements, okay, yeah. But
you-
the
can
lyrics
you-
are good.
Okay, give me one line, one lyric. How about that?
It was
Do-
kind of a rap song. So it was. a bit
I love
comical.
it. I love that. Do you have a title, a working title?
From Greece to USA, you changing the world, something like that. But
I
yeah,
love
I
that.
have to reconsider that. I wrote this like 3 weeks ago.
It's so great.
Yeah, I have to go back to that.
So, I have a pipeline of episodes. So by the time this episode is released, I hope you have a completed song. And maybe I'll come back to you and say, okay, if you can sing it or want to record it. So but when we get to that, I'll see if we can
Okay.
put a tiny little bit in. It'd be fun. And it's great. It just shows how creative you are and how deeply embedded you are from an emotional perspective in this whole concept, which is beautiful. From the eavesdropping in the cafe to writing a song. Pretty impressive, it's amazing. So what makes GiveLink gutsy? Because you're on Small and Gutsy. What makes you gutsy?
I think our whole journey is a gutsy one. We started from a small city of Greece as university students where there is no entrepreneurship culture at all and no money at start, no network, nothing to rely on except our idea and just a vision to make big things. We face so many challenges, trying to partner with the biggest supermarkets all over the country, United States, and profits. And we left everything from Greece, families, friends, just to pursue this vision that can have so much impact in the world. And we try to do that every day, despite the challenges that happen. And I think this journey is good.
I can see why you wanted to write a song about this because it's so close to your heart in so many ways. So, very quickly, last two questions. What is something that outsiders or maybe even a few insiders don't know about GiveLink?
Some outsiders might not know that we do not charge non-profit. That's the thing that stands out when we talk to people, that we make the revenue through commissions on the suppliers that sell the product. So we deduct their profit. We do not charge anything to the non-profits. Also, the batch deliveries that Panos mentioned also is one thing that sometimes gets skipped by donors, that we deliver batch deliveries and it's much better for everyone involved.
Yeah, including the environment, which is what you were saying. Last question. If you could get one celebrity or influencer to talk about GiveLink so that you'd get even more visibility and greater breadth, who might that be?
Funny story, in Greece, the name that we would drop at this point actually became an investor in GiveLink. She's the biggest philanthropist in Greece. Coming from one of the richest families in Greece, she's so committed to society and so close to the problems that it faces. So she was the ideal person and ended up investing and being one
Wow.
of our users. So
Congratulations.
we made it into in Greece. Now here,
I have one. I'd mention Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a Greek NBA basketball player who
I
was
love
like
it.
the MVP here. I'm very inspired by his journey. He's like a role model, starting from poverty in Greece and proving everyone that he can go to the United States, can do something big, and always be humble, with humility, give back to society, to Greece, the United States. He's a role model in terms of philanthropy as well. And I see like many similarities on the values that he has. So yeah, I'd really like to speak to him and potentially do something in the United States to promote this across the world.
I love that. And you should reach out to him directly. Not only the Greek connection, but this concept of philanthropy, his belief in himself. His own journey is not unlike your journey of starting with nothing and really wanting to build something to give back.
I would also add something that came to mind because we were working at the marketing recently. Billie Eilish, because recently she made some very strong opinions on rich people and how they handle money. And I think she would be a great fit and
She's great.
a person to talk about, okay, everybody can do that, not just billionaires. And we can do
Right.
it in the most meaningful way. It doesn't matter how much you give, it matters how and what you give.
Right. What you've really done is you've democratized philanthropy. So you have really taken philanthropy and said you could give $1, you can do $5, $10, whatever you can give, it's going to be meaningful for somebody who needs it. And you then, paired that with an organization. So I just want to take a moment and thank you both for joining the Small and Gutsy family, hoping that you won't be small for very long, but you will always be gutsy. It's part of your entrepreneurial spirit and your desire to give back. So thank you for being on this podcast. And I'm just so delighted and wish you well, because I just know you were successful in Greece, you're going to be successful here and have just started to grow. So thank you.
Well, thank you for hosting us, for giving us a platform to share our vision. It's a great opportunity for us, especially at this stage. So we'd really like to thank you for hearing us and having us here today, and also for your beautiful introduction. Honestly, we're just talking about it, that the small break, that it was, wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very kind.
No, I meant every word that I said, and I really realized that everyone has an opportunity to give and see the impact of their giving, no matter how small. And you've proven it in Greece, and you're proving it here. And it doesn't mean that people don't give. People do give. But as you pointed out, let's see if we can get to 1 million recipients, 1 million people who you've impacted their lives in a particular way. So I'm totally rooting for you, and I'm just honored that you're part of the Small and Gutsy family.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. But thank you both. This was so terrific. I loved talking to both of you, and I love your energy, your youth, your ability to really make a difference. Most people think they can't, and you're proving them wrong. You can make a difference, and everyone can.
Congrats on building a platform to start small and gutsy initiatives to speak their mind. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Please go to smallandgutsy.org to check out all of our episodes. And if you're so inclined, please purchase some Small and Gutsy merchandise, consider sponsoring an episode, or making a donation. Both are tax deductible and help keep us going and spotlighting these great organizations. The opinions and viewpoints expressed by our guests are independent and don't reflect the position or views of Small and Gutsy. Of course, we can't take responsibility outside of our own vetting of the organizations we interview, so before you sign on to support or work for them, we encourage you to do your own due diligence and research them as well. I want to thank my partners in this endeavor, the Intrinsic Group, the donors, the sponsors, and my incredible board of directors, Brianna Carmichael, John Gatto, Lucy Mello, Ari McCoy, Melissa Greitz, and Serena Rajabian, who believed in me in this project enough so to sign on to support this effort, and all the folks, friends, and family who have guided and inspired me. And thank you for listening. Together, we are spreading social impact, and you can help us. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to email me the name of any organization you feel would benefit from being interviewed, from small and gutsy to big with impact. I'm Dr. Laura Shirk-Witkoff, and thanks for listening.